I slipped my 2009 Honda Accord into the narrow space between Nathaniel's Lamborghini and Danielle's Tesla Plaid, already bracing for the inevitable raised brows and barely veiled jabs. The annual Winslow family dinner in San Diego wasn't about reconnecting. It was a competition, who had climbed highest, sparkled brightest. At 33, I still played the role of the family anomaly, the one who never quite figured it out. I smoothed the wrinkles from my forest green wrap dress at Macy's, off the rack, and reached for the wine. A 2005 Chateau Margaux, $2,300. Not that anyone would bother to check the label. In this family, the car you drove said more than what you brought to the table. Sophie, you're late. My mother's voice carried from the top of the steps of her immaculate coastal estate. Still driving that same old car? Lovely to see you too, Mom, I said, forcing a smile. Inside, the usual chaos. Danielle showing off her sapphire ring to a disinterested cousin. Nathaniel holding court about his VC firm's latest win. Aunt Maureen playing judge and jury, weight, wardrobe, relationship status, between sips of Perrier Jouet. So, Nathaniel called out, his voice smug, still holding on to that little gig? Freelance data entry or whatever it is? If only he knew. My gig was Stratus Sentinel, an AI-driven cybersecurity firm I founded. Current valuation, $3.9 billion. But I wasn't here for applause. Danielle, smiling sweetly, added, I know a dealership that might have something more reliable. They might even work with your budget. I placed the wine bottle on the counter. My mother glanced at it, then swapped it for something cheaper from the pantry. No one had even looked at the label. Sophie's always been modest, she said, lips tight. Some people just don't care about appearances. I checked my phone. A message from my assistant. Press release scheduled. Acquisition approved. You now own controlling interest in West Secure. West Secure, the same company Nathaniel was prepping to pitch Monday morning. Oh, did you hear? My father chimed in. Danielle got promoted. Executive Associate Director. And Nathaniel just raised another $75 million. Impressive, I said, sliding into my seat. Really? Aunt Maureen leaned over, her voice oozing concern. Honey, have you thought about financial planning? You're not getting younger. I smiled. Monday should be enlightening. I thought of the boardroom that morning. The $3.1 billion acquisition finalized. Our largest rival now part of the Stratus Sentinel family. I'd led every negotiation while my relatives still thought I was resetting passwords for a tech startup. Thanks, Maureen, I replied evenly. I'll keep that in mind. Dinner unfolded like a familiar script. Danielle narrated her spa week in Bora Bora, complete with drone footage. Nathaniel boasted about his new chalet in Park City. My mother masterfully directed the spotlight, ensuring it landed everywhere but on me. Sophie's doing her best, she offered when someone finally asked. She's always been different. Different, their word for unrecognizable success. Because I didn't chase prestige through job titles or Instagrammable getaways. Because I built something that mattered. At least tell us you're dating someone with potential, Aunt Maureen prodded. I thought of Daniel, my quietly brilliant boyfriend, co-founder of 3 blockchain startups, worth north of $200 million. We kept our privacy intact. That made it real. Just focused on work, I said. Danielle laughed. Of course. And what's the name of this mystery company again? Stratus Sentinel. Nathaniel waved it off. Sounds like one of those AI fads that disappears overnight. My phone buzzed. Bloomberg alert. Stratus Sentinel reshapes cybersecurity market with bold acquisition. Danielle leaned in. Faux concern painted across her face. Guess who got into Goldman's elite vehicle program? I'm deciding between a Bentley or Maserati. Bentley, Emma offered, already bored. Danielle turned to me. Sophie, really, why the Honda? Do you need help financing something better? I let them laugh. Let them misunderstand. It's reliable, I said. My mother sighed. You know, your father and I could help you put something down on something respectable. I took a sip of wine, thinking of my Malibu house overlooking the Pacific. I'm fine, Mother. Danielle tilted her head. Are you, though? I mean, look at your car, your outfit. Don't you want more out of life? I thought of my company's market cap, my 3,400 employees, the infrastructure we were building to secure the digital future. I'm content, I said. Nathaniel snorted into his glass. Content with mediocrity. Sounds about right. My phone buzzed again. Angela, my assistant. She never called unless it mattered. Excuse me, I said, rising. Sophie, my mother called. We don't take calls at the dinner table. I didn't answer. I stepped onto the patio, letting the ocean breeze wash over me. Angela? Sorry to interrupt, Miss Winslow, she said quickly. There's a delay with the Dubai maintenance team. They need your authorization before upgrading the jet for Singapore next week. Through the French doors, I could still see Danielle whispering to Emma. I smiled. A jet? Must be some delivery service her company uses. They still didn't get it. The Gulfstream G650 wasn't leased. It was mine. Go ahead with the upgrades, I said, letting my voice carry, and make sure the pilot logs the Tokyo stopover for the investor summit. Through the glass doors, I watched the dining room fall still. Even Nathaniel paused mid-pour. One more thing, Angela added, calm as ever. Mr. Chin needs confirmation for your remarks at tomorrow's press conference on the MaxTech acquisition. Yes, I said. Tell PR I'll review the $3.1 billion release tonight. A sharp crack rang from inside. Danielle's wineglass had slipped from her fingers, a dark stain bleeding across her cream silk blouse like spilled secrets. Angela continued, unfazed. Forbes also wants your updated net worth. Should we give them the current estimate or wait post-acquisition? Wait, I said. The stock's about to do something interesting. I ended the call and stepped back into the room. Silence pressed against the walls like fog. My father stared. Emma had her phone out, already typing, probably searching Stratus Sentinel in real time. Sophie, my father began carefully. What was that about a jet? I took a sip of wine, savoring the moment like a vintage I'd saved just for this. Oh, I said, smiling, didn't I mention? I'll have to cut dinner short. If you've ever dreamed of the moment they finally see you for who you really are, don't blink. This was mine. I have a flight to catch. The room held its breath. Even the chandelier above seemed to hesitate. Danielle recovered first. She stood, silk clinging to her like regret. You're lying, she said, voice sharp. This is some kind of joke. I unlocked my phone and pulled up Bloomberg. Stratus Sentinel market cap, $4. 2B. CEO, Sophie Winslow. I placed it on the table and slid it across. Feel free to fact-check. Nathaniel picked it up with unsteady hands. This can't be right. You drive a Honda. By choice, I said evenly. Some of us don't need horsepower to feel powerful. Emma looked up from her screen, her voice barely above a whisper. Oh my God, she's not lying. She's on CNBC, Wired, Forbes 40 under 40. My mother had gone pale. But why didn't you tell us? She asked quietly. All these years. I met her eyes without flinching. Would it have mattered? You never asked. You were too busy celebrating Danielle's job title and Nathaniel's seed fund. Seed fund? Nathaniel snapped. I manage $75 million. I laughed, soft and almost kind. That's sweet. I signed off on $100 million in RD just last quarter. My father cleared his throat. The shift in his tone was immediate, opportunistic. Sophie, maybe we could talk investments, now that we know what you've built. No. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't have to. I'm not your little girl anymore. That ended the day you said I embarrassed the family for not joining Goldman. Danielle looked away. We both remembered. She hadn't spoken up then. She'd smiled. But families help each other. My mother whispered. That's what we do. Do we? I looked at her, calm and clear. When Danielle needed help with her Tesla, you co-signed the loan. When Nathaniel started his fund, you wired him capital. And me? I asked. You told me to take budgeting classes. Aunt Mean leaned in, sensing a new alliance. Darling, now that we do know, you really must join the country club. It's simply expected. I'll sponsor her, Aunt Morin chimed in. I tilted my head. You mean the same country club that rejected my application because I drove a Honda? I smiled. I bought the club last month. Another clink. Nathaniel's glass this time. My phone buzzed again. Danielle. Your pilot just called. Want me to bring the Aston or stick with the Camry? I texted back. Stick to the Camry. Tonight's about consistency. Danielle's tone changed. Too sweet. Too late. Sophie, I've actually been thinking about leaving Goldman. Maybe we could talk about something at your company? I didn't blink. You mean the little startup that'll vanish in a year? I asked, echoing Nathaniel's earlier sneer. We're fully staffed. Emma jumped in next. I've always been interested in tech. Name one programming language, I said flatly. She blinked. Silence. My mother finally broke it. But your clothes, your car, your apartment. All choices. I cut in. I could buy this house before breakfast. I could own any car from a music video. But I don't measure success by what I wear or what sits in my driveway. How much? My father asked, blunt and direct. What are you worth? I stood, smoothing the forest green dress, still proud of the off-the-rack fit. More than everyone here combined, several times over. My phone buzzed again. Angela. Jet's ready. Miss Winslow. Singapore board is standing by. Thank you, Angela, I said. Tell them I'm on my way. I turned back to the stunned faces around the table. This has been enlightening, but I have a company to run. Wait, Danielle's voice cracked. You can't just drop this and walk away. Why not? I asked coolly. You've been dropping your judgments on me for years. I grabbed my leather tote, quiet luxury in my grasp. Oh, and mother, I added, glancing at her with a chill. That wine you pushed aside for cooking? Worth more than Nathaniel's monthly fund yield. I reached the door. My father's voice stopped me, low and urgent. Sophie, be reasonable. We're family. We should discuss this. I paused, looked back once. The time for discussion was years ago, when I needed support. Now, I didn't need a thing from them. But we're family, my mother pleaded. Blood doesn't excuse behavior, I said firmly. You all made your choices. Now you live with them. Outside, my old Camry waited, steady, unbothered. Behind me, chaos erupted. Danielle panicked. Nathaniel rattled excuses. Emma scrambled to send me a LinkedIn request before I pulled away. My mother rushed outside. Sophie, please, we can start over. I didn't stop. The next morning, the messages poured in. Danielle, hey sis, remember when I helped with your college apps? Good times. Lunch? Nathaniel, Soph, got an investment op you'll love. Call me. Emma, saw Straightest Sentinel is hiring. Coffee soon? Then the emails. Mom, darling, reflecting on the beautiful memories we could still make. Dad, princess, we should integrate your success into our family legacy. I forwarded every message to Angela with one note. Add to blocked list. At the MaxTech press conference, a reporter asked why I still lived modestly. Success isn't what you wear, I said. It's what you build. The quote went viral. Secret billionaire CEO who drives a Camry. Danielle switched tones. I always knew you'd make it. Remember when I lent you my shoes? Yes, and how she told everyone I couldn't afford my own. Nathaniel pitched his fund to my board. They marked it spam. Mom became a fixture on every entrepreneurial charity board, name-dropping her visionary daughter. Dad touted my name in business circles, claiming he nurtured my rise. The ones who knew the truth just smiled. A month later, an envelope arrived. Winslow Family Foundation Gala. Guest of honor, Sophie Winslow. Tech visionary. I sent back a note, unable to attend. Prior commitment in Singapore. Truth, I was in San Diego, working from my penthouse while they smiled for cameras and rewrote history. Danielle gave a soft-focused lifestyle interview, claiming she'd always encouraged me to dream big. Nathaniel bragged about our deep bond. Reality? They never inspired me. They fueled my drive. Last week, Danielle got cut from Goldman Sachs, budget cuts. She sent her resume with, family first, right? Nathaniel lost his largest investor, tried to pitch my capital division. Emma's husband's business folded. She flooded LinkedIn with strong family ties, quotes. I didn't respond. I was busy running straight as sentinel, investing in the future, building something real. My Camry still sits between luxury cars in the company lot. A quiet legend. A statement. Success without showmanship. Yesterday, two junior devs chatted by the coffee bar. Is it true the CEO's a billionaire who drives a Toyota? Yeah, said the other. And she wears Target clothes and lives in a regular building. Why? Because she doesn't need to prove anything. They understood. My family never will. This morning, another dinner invite arrived from Mom. Her note mentioned finally learning how to store wine properly. I boxed up the same bottle she once shelved for cooking, a $2,000 Chateau Lafite Rothschild. Sent it back with a card. For your cooking shelf. I hear it adds excellent flavor to rejection letters. Because sometimes, success isn't about proving them wrong, it's proving yourself right. And the best revenge? Letting them watch it at a distance they'll never cross. As for me, I'm taking the Camry to the board meeting. We're finalizing a $5 billion expansion. Might even send a press release. Because that's how they've always preferred to hear about my life. If you've ever been underestimated, overlooked, or told your dreams were unrealistic, I hope my story speaks to you. Leave a comment below. Tell me which part hit home. Your voice matters here. And if you're quietly building something of your own, keep going. You don't need applause to prove your worth, just purpose. Subscribe to join me on this journey, where success doesn't shout. It simply shows up. Because sometimes, the best revenge is not shouting back.